taking the sweet spot to new heights.
Welcome to a decade of great tennis at the United States Open. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Ryan, and what a decade it was. The U.S. Open, unique among the Grand Slam events, in many ways reflects the spirit of the city which is its home. New York, New York. It can be loud, intense, fast-paced, sometimes rude, but never boring. And as the song says, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, as many great champions have. So sit back and enjoy them, as CBS Sports presents the toughest tournament in tennis from 1980 to 1990.
Going to the Open?
You bet. Let's go and see the best of the U.S. Open from 1980 to 1990. We saw John McEnroe dominate the early 80s. Then, when everyone had written him off, returned at age 31 with a stellar performance in 1990. We saw Chris Evert at her best in 80 and 82, and shed a tear when she retired in 89. If Chris made us cry, Jimmy Connors made us laugh and cheer. He was the master showman of the 80s. And as we enter the 90s, we may have bid an unexpected farewell to him at the U.S. Open. But none who watched him will forget the way Jimbo drank from the cup of excitement at the Open, or the way he stole the show in the theater he loved so well. If there was a dominant male player of the decade at Flushing Meadow, it was Ivan Lendl, 8 times in the finals, 3 times to the winner's circle. That was surpassed only by Martina Navratilova, with 4 U.S. Open singles championships and 8 doubles titles in the 80s. As the decade drew to a close, Fraulein forehand Steffi Graf won the first Grand Slam in 19 years and kept right on winning. The 90s brought new faces, like 14-year-old Jennifer Capriati, who may well be the shining star of the next decade. But the most amazing story may be 19-year-old Pete Sampras, whose blazing 125-mile-an-hour serves made him the youngest men's champion in history. As the 1980 U.S. Open started, a Polish shipyard worker was starting a union called Solidarity. Like the winner of the 1980 Open, Lech Walesa would have some dark days in the 80s, but come back strong in 1990. We pick up the action in 1980 with the men's semifinal, a classic five-setter between the defending champion John McEnroe and a determined Jimmy Connors. As always, Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert were in the booth as we join the action in the fifth set.
McEnroe serving at 5-4 in the fifth and the final set. Oh, that's a good serve.
Connors did a great job to get to the ball.
Off the top of the net, and good.
Break point for Connors.
Connors is broken. Tiebreaker time. And after a day like this has been,
Games are 6-all. We'll now play the
I sort of
tiebreaker.
feel like that's a fitting ending, don't you, Trib?
You know, it's funny, a while back I mentioned, why don't we go to a tiebreaker? Let's finish it. The first match, Borg and Creek went 5 sets. And here we are, tiebreaker in the fifth set. Match points, and McEnroe has 2 serves, 2 points.
That's it.
That's it.
Game, 7 match, McEnroe.
John McEnroe advances to the finals to play Bjorn Borg tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Rematch of Wimbledon.
And it would turn into yet another classic five-setter. We pick up the action in the first set tiebreak.
First set then goes to McEnroe in the tiebreaker. 7-4 the tiebreaker score.
McEnroe
7-6 the set score. Three all. McEnroe says it was out.
McEnroe thinks it was out. Borg thinks it was good. It's going to stand at 3-all as they change ends. Boy, McEnroe made a tremendous return, came in behind it, and what a shot by Borg.
Biggest match of all.
The McEnroe sense of history. You heard him call this the biggest match of all time.
McEnroe in behind it. Good.
Set point for Bjorn Borg.
It's still set point for Borg. Taking a lot of time. Missed it.
Game and third set, Borg 7-6.
We move to 5-all in the fourth set. Borg serving at deuce.
Do you think Borg knows that he's playing here at night now? He started in the daytime.
I don't think so. I don't think it really makes any difference. Just what Tony's alluding to is that he objected last year particularly to playing at night. That's when he lost to Tanner, but look at that sight. How could you object to anything like that?
John McEnroe Sr.
Now we pick it up at 3-all in the fifth and final set.
I like McEnroe's attempt. Let's make something happen. If he can knock it by me, good luck to you, but there's a lot of pressure on.
McEnroe breaks. And he takes the lead in the fifth and final set, 4-3.
Fantastic play by John McEnroe. Let's watch it. Diving, stabbing volley. Borg has his choice. McEnroe guesses right, and now bingo into the open court. Double match point for John McEnroe. Leonard Berglund on the right of your screen. That is Bjorn Borg. His hopes of a Grand Slam, a glimmer, and that is John McEnroe Sr. That is Mrs. McEnroe on the right of your screen.
All right, John
McEnroe.
So John McEnroe took his second straight U.S. Open title. And Chris Evert Lloyd avenged her 1979 loss to Tracy Austin to move into the finals against Hanna Mandlikova. We pick up the action with Mandlikova leading 6-5 in the first set. Evert Lloyd serving at deuce.
Triple set point for Mandlikova.
Love 40. Game and first set.
After losing the first set, Chris Evert Lloyd took total control of the next two with her classic baseline ground stroke game.
The Everts and the Lloyds obviously very pleased with the position Chris is in at this stage. 2 service breaks in the third and final set. Will be serving at 5-1. And it is double match point for Chris Evert Lloyd.
40-15.
So much has been said about Mandlikova 18. This might be third, but not yet.
There it is.
1981 marked the beginning of the Reagan years.
Of the United States. They'll help you.
The end of the American embassy hostage crisis in Iran. Prince Charles and Lady Di were united at the Court of St. James. Simon and Garfunkel were reunited in Central Park. And McEnroe and Borg were reunited on the Stadium Court. Tony Trabert and John Newcomb call the action.
Skidded right past Borg. Great get, great placement by McEnroe. Watch this now when he gets up for this drop volley.
Bad hit,
I don't know if you'll be able to
McEnroe.
tell on the replay, but this ball, once it is past Borg, and Borg would have had a chance to get to it, but it hits right on the line, and then just accelerated, scored it right by him. So we'll come back live. It's break point McEnroe.
Game, McEnroe.
That's twice that McEnroe's got around to hit forehands for winners on break point.
After splitting the first two sets, McEnroe began to dominate the action.
Touch by McEnroe.
Gee, that's a tough shot to play, Tony, especially if you look at where McEnroe was
40-15.
when he actually had to play it. He was almost at half court.
And stretched out.
Yeah, very tough. Not a tough shot to do if you're right on top of the net.
McEnroe's decisive victory would mark the end of Bjorn Borg's Grand Slam career. In the women's bracket, defending champion Chris Evert Lloyd faced Martina Navratilova in the second of 4 meetings at the Open. Navratilova was strong with points like this to take the first set 7-5. But Chris battled back, carrying the second set 6-4. But on this day, Martina Navratilova would prove too much and would advance to the finals to face Tracy Austin. Again, Martina took the first set. We pick up the action in the second set tiebreaker.
Tina's doing what she has to do. Serve and come on in, put pressure on.
We'll go to the third set. Tracy Austin, 7-4 in the tiebreaker, 7-6 in the set.
High drama.
Two match points saved by Martina.
And we're back at deuce.
I think you'll see Martina coming right in off the return.
There she is. She'll have to go back.
Mrs. Austin grimaces. It is now break point for Martina.
Advantage, Navratilova.
Got it.
The ball was wide. It's 6-all. We go to the tiebreaker.
Austin.
She might be a little nervous.
Just keyed up. Again, Tracy started in that time when she got the lob over Martina's head, but she didn't get all the way in.
Tracy won the tiebreaker in the second set, 7-4. In the background there, Don Budge looking on.
Well, in a major tournament, Tracy's doing something that he never did, and that's play a tiebreaker. Another winner. And a bushel basket full of match points for Tracy Austin.
6-1.
See how dejected Martina is. What a terrible disappointment for Martina Navratilova.
And what a comeback by Tracy Austin.
And what a sad way to lose a match with a double fault. But you got to give that young lady credit, Pat.
Ironically, was that not Martina's 13th double fault?
Absolutely.
Tell me it's not unlucky.
In 1982, Argentina invaded a remote British territory called the Falkland Islands and briefly claimed them as the Malvinas. Comedian John Belushi died of a drug overdose in a Hollywood hotel. American movie star Grace Kelly, now Princess Grace of Monaco, died in a car accident. And while we lost a princess, the Queen gained another title. Chris Evert Lloyd, playing like she had reserved the court for only an hour, rolled over 19-year-old Hanna Malikova in just 63 minutes to capture her 6th U.S. Open singles championship. The 1982 men's final featured an aging Jimmy Connors against the fast-rising Ivan Lendl. Connors took the first 2 sets, and Lendl looked discouraged going into the third. But Lendl wasn't done yet. He battled back to take the third set on a blistering passing shot that would become his trademark later on in his career. Then Jimmy Connors went to work on the crowd and on Lendl, putting on a show that neither would forget.
Two more points.
This one game.
Double match point.
40-15.
This crowd will tear this place apart if Connors wins this one. They love him in New York.
No player has worked the New York crowd like Jimmy Connors. He knew just what to do and just what to say to keep the toughest crowd in tennis eating out of the palm of his hand.
For me to come here and to play good tennis at the Open here in front of the people here is probably the biggest thrill that I have in my career.
I'll tell you what, you had 20,000 here pulling for Jimmy Connors today. Congratulations.
Well, I appreciate that, and I love the people here in New York, and I hope I can continue to play like this because I'd like to come back again and play next year.
And come back he did. At age 30, dropping only one set in 6 matches to set up a return engagement with Ivan Lendl.
Carson, everybody else loving it. What a great point.
Again, he worked the crowd like a master showman. But as John Newcomb would observe, it would take more than applause to win the U.S. Open.
You win U.S. Open titles. People don't give them to you.
Trouble.
Jimmy tries to take it early. Will he come in?
That's it. He's got it. He's got it.
Here it is again. Stepping in on the second serve. This is match point. Watch his reaction now. He knows it's good. Here I am, folks. 5th time.
Jimmy Connors.
1983 marked the first meeting of Chris Evert Lloyd and Martina Navratilova in the final of a U.S. Open. Navratilova was dominating women's tennis, and she would prove her reputation was deserved, cruising to her first U.S. Open championship in straight sets.
that feeling
I'm
6
going to be able to take
times.
this smile off my face for a long time.
She would wear that smile 3 more times in the 80s. In 1984, America rehired Ronald Reagan for a new 4-year term. And a new term was introduced at the U.S. Open, Super Saturday. This one turned into the longest day in the history of Grand Slam tennis. And what tennis it was. It began with Ivan Lendl facing Pat Cash at 11 a.m. in the first men's semifinal. And the caliber of play spoke for itself. After 4 hours and 40 minutes, 5 sets and 2 tiebreaks, Ivan Lendl advanced to the final. Then Martina Navratilova met Chris Everett Lloyd in a rematch of their '83 final. It was 3 sets of scintillating tennis. As darkness shrouded the scheduled daytime program, Jimmy Connors strode on court to face John McEnroe. 4 more hours of incredible tennis lay ahead. 12 hours after the day's tennis began, John McEnroe had reached the final, while Jimmy Connors consoled his son Brett. The next day, with precious little rest for a Grand Slam title match, John McEnroe faced Yvonne Lindell.
Look out.
But after Super Saturday, the final seemed anticlimactic.
Among the many spectators in this packed house for the men's final, Yoko Ono.
Game. Second set. McEnroe.
Father McEnroe. With a
Quiet, please.
Despite a sleepless night, McEnroe prevailed and in straight sets.
6-1, 6-3, 6-4, 6-1.
John McEnroe has won the men's championship of the U.S. Open in 1984. His fourth time.
Next door at Shea Stadium, 1985 saw 19-year-old strikeout king Doc Gooden become the youngest 20-game winner in Major League history. And speaking of strikeouts, new Coke came and went. At the U.S. Open, Super Saturday lived up to its name with a 5-set sizzler between defending champion John McEnroe and French Open champion Mats Wilander. Wilander took the first set. McEnroe the second. But the big battle was against the thermometer. The temperature rose to 117 degrees. And McEnroe seemed to be losing that battle. Heat and humidity, so prevalent at the toughest tournament in tennis, were taking their toll. But McEnroe battled back. The match ground on, 3 hours and 30 minutes. But as the temperatures rose, so did the level of play. Finally, McEnroe prevailed. In the women's final, Mandlikova and Navratilova. Mandlikova had won the first set in a tiebreaker. Martina rolled in the second 6-1. Here in the third set, emotions ran high. On they played more than 2 hours into a third set tiebreak. In her third trip to the finals of the U.S. Open, Mandlikova finally won the championship she'd sought so long. Her supine celebration became one of the memorable pictures of U.S. Open champions. Controversy marred the men's doubles championship. At set point, in a third straight tiebreak, a ball appeared to deflect off the shoulder of Ken Flack. The crowd had its opinion. Yannick Noah and Henri Leconte certainly had their opinion. But the replay was inconclusive, and Flack and Seguso took the title. Afterward, Flack pleaded ignorance.
If it touched me or not, I'm not sure. It's the umpire's call, so I just, that's all I could do.
Noah was stoic in defeat. John McEnroe had expended championship effort in his semifinal win over Wielander. He did not have a second one to give when he faced Ivan Lendl. It was a rematch of 1984.
That's some shot.
That was a very brave shot from Lendl, coming in and swing bowling. Oh, great shot.
And it's triple set point for Lendl.
Did it again.
Same shot. Second set goes to Lendl. Wins at 6-3 and now leads 2 sets to love.
Though Mac had his moments, this was the beginning of Lendl's era as an Open champion.
Ivan's parents.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet, please.
Triple match point. Time 2 hours and 33 minutes. Ivan Lendl in straight sets. 7-6, 6-3, 6-4.
1986 was Miss Liberty's 100th birthday, and America threw her a party we could all cheer about. But there were few Americans to cheer for as the Open drew to a close. McEnroe and Connors were out early, and the collapse of the American men became a major story. Every finalist was born in Czechoslovakia. Martina Navratilova faced Helena Sukova in a rain-delayed final that had to be played on Sunday. Martina controlled the match every step of the way on points like this. Three match points for Martina Navratilova. An overpowering win for Navratilova for her third U.S. Open championship in 4 years. Yvonne Lendl was even more dominant in the men's final, giving up only 6 games to Miloslav Mechir in a straight-set romp. It was Lendl's second straight U.S. Open title.
Yeah, look, I can serve and volley, too.
Yeah. Do whatever you can do. Do it a little bit better.
Must be a nice feeling to know you've done all the preparation leading into this championship.
And then you got the opportunity now to select the rewards.
There it is. 10-8. Has successfully defended his U.S. Open crown. 6-4, 6-2, and 6-love.
In 1987, the stock market closed about 2,000 for the first time in history. Ollie North became the TV star of the
Plain
summer.
and simple, the Congress is to blame because of the
And some frustrated California freeway drivers began shooting their fellow commuters. That fall, the stock market shot itself in the foot. In the women's final, defending champion Martina Navratilova faced top-seeded Steffi Graf. Navratilova took the first set in a tiebreak.
You talk about being an athlete. Watch this.
40 love.
They say, yeah, it is good.
Graf never got her wake-up call for the second set. Martina cruised 6-1 to her fourth U.S. Open singles championship.
Martina Navratilova. 7-6, 6-1. She's done it again.
On Sunday, the men's championship featured Mother Nature and Old Man Rain, and the tournament finale had to be postponed until Monday. A sparse crowd was on hand for the start of the final as Mats Wilander challenged Yvonne Lendl, seeking his third straight U.S. Open title. As the lunch hour passed, the stadium filled, and for all those who skipped work in the afternoon, it was worth it.
Great save.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, no kidding. And look at Lendl walking back. He's starting to wonder, what do I have to do?
Come on right now, she said.
Quiet, please. Thank you. It's almost like Samantha's trying to will her,
Yeah.
will herself to give him a little bit of help there.
She's not as tired as he is.
Spin it in again to the backhand.
That's what he did. And Lendl got it down the line. What a struggle. 4 hours and 47 minutes to play 4 sets.
'88 was the year of the great drought, when Yellowstone Park caught fire, and everyone worried about Old Faithful. Hockey star Wayne Gretzky married actress Janet Jones. And young Steffi Graf won the first Grand Slam in 19 years. Graf had won the first set against Gabriela Sabatini in the final, but Sabatini made Graf work for her Grand Slam title with superb play in the second set.
Wonderful reaction by Sabatini. Guesses right again. Or anticipates, whatever you want to call it. She was there and also handled it at close quarters. 40-30.
Game Sabatini.
Graf thought the serve was long. Game to Sabatini. Steffi thought that was wide.
30 all.
Quite a point and a terrific smash. Watch Gabrielle. I don't think her feet are ever stopped moving on this overhead. Let's watch. She really not set up too well. And I think she hit a little close to the sideline than she had planned. And then here's Steffi. That's about the extent of it. Set point for Gabriela Sabatini.
Second set, Sabatini. 6-3.
So into the third set they went. This time it was all Steffi Graf.
Game Graf.
Leads 3-0 in the third. Here we are.
Grand Slam point.
Match draw. 6-3, 3-6, 6-1.
On behalf of the United States Tennis Association and everyone here in this stadium, we present you with the championship trophy and crown you Grand Slam winner.
What was billed as the Rolls-Royce match of '88 was the nighttime quarterfinal between Jimmy Connors and teeny bopper heartthrob Andre Agassi. Agassi took the first set. Mary Carrillo joins me as we pick up the action in the second set tiebreak.
5-all in the tiebreak. Agassi serving. Another winning volley by Agassi, but it was a baseline battle, and he had the depth and the sting throughout most of the match.
Thank you.
Set point, the critical one in this match. And there you go, Agassi, 7-6, with a 2-set lead, and obviously Connors now really disappointed at the fact that he did not win that set and go in even into the third.
It was very key for Connors, and what made Connors even more aggravated, I think, after the match, he found out that Agassi told the press he predicted a straight set victory, 3-3-3. When Jimmy heard that, he said, well, that was a big mistake, because the great thing about tennis is that you play all these guys again and again.
Well, in the third set, with Connors down at 1-4, the crowd got into it. Some encouragement from him. John McEnroe, his wife Tedham, were there watching the match tonight. And Agassi waited very patiently while Connors played to the crowd, and then finally decided he better get a piece of it.
A guy yelled down to Connors, "Hey, he's a punk and you're a legend."
Suddenly was very much like a New York crowd.
If you're looking for Wimbledon, buddy, you're in the wrong place.
Yes, indeed, they weren't at Wimbledon, but they were watching a new young player perhaps taking the mantle from the old champion. Connors, I think, had relaxed at this point into the notion that it was not going to be his night. But they were his fans. Agassi serving for the match. And there it is. Agassi drills the ball up into the crowd, a familiar sight for him by now. A straight set victory
for Agassi, but he would be eliminated by Ivan Lendl, who would face a revenge-minded Mats Wilander in a rematch of their '87 final. It started as a day match, but like so many finals, this 5-set marathon finished under a starlit New York sky. We pick up the action with Wilander serving in the 5th set.
The point of the match. 1 volley, 2, 3.
5, please.
Watch this.
The 5th. Wilander serving for the match.
5, please, ladies.
It was after 9 p.m. in New York, making it the longest men's final in U.S. Open history. The tension showed on Lendl's face and in his actions.
Championship.
4 hours and 54 minutes it took. A grueling 5-setter.
1989 saw the collapse of communism and the destruction of the Berlin Wall. We also saw the destruction of Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose was banned for life from baseball for betting on games. The sun also set on the Chris Evert era. Mary Carrillo recalls that final day.
It's been an emotional day for tennis fans here.
And it's not as though she didn't warn us, Tim. And we all knew that this was her last U.S. Open. We all knew how improbable it would be for her to put her name on this list one more time. And yet now that it's over, it's very hard to take.
It is indeed. Her final opponent was the number 5 seed from Houston, Zina Garrison, who had been playing very impressively. And Mary Chris appeared tight and tentative in the first 2 games of the match, and yet found herself leading here 4-2 in the first set.
Well, Zina had donated a bunch of games early on, and that's why Chris was made to feel that she hadn't really earned this lead.
And so there was Evert at 5-2.
2 breaks for Chris. She said, I really squandered that lead. Zina, who's a very tough come-from-behind player, was to say afterwards that being down that far actually relaxed her.
Then all kinds of bad things started to happen for Chris. 5 double faults in the first set. Now the second set tied at 1. Everett serving. One of the best points of the entire match, but it was Garrison who was waiting for the easy winner. The look on Chris's face, I think, tells it all here.
Yeah,
Zina had pulled away to a 5-2 lead.
She was so tough. There was still one last ray of hope people were feeling for Chris.
And a dandy cross-court winner there. But a match point now for Garrison, and the end seemed inevitable. And so Zina Garrison had ended the U.S. Open career of Chris Evert on center court.
Zina Garrison would be eliminated by Martina Navratilova, who faced defending champion Steffi Graf in the final. Navratilova won the first set. We pick up the action in the second. Graf serving.
Steffi Graf, 7-5.
Steffi Graf with a convincing 3-set victory over Martina Navratilova for her second straight U.S. Open crown. The high point in the men's draw, Jimmy Connors nearly collapsing with heat stroke, but battling back in a match destined to be one of the legends of the U.S. Open. Connors, Agassi 2. Agassi won the first set. We're in the second.
Now 5-4 in the second set. Agassi apparently wanting Connors to play a lot of balls, the older legs, and certainly in the condition that he appeared to be in, you would think that Agassi would want to make him play these long points. But Connors gamely coming forward here, knocks out that winner, and takes the set. So they're a set apiece.
Now here's where things I think went way wrong and should never have happened. Agassi started slicing returns where he had been coming over him. He started playing goofy shots. I mean, it looked like Connors was as game as he always is, but it really looked like Agassi was letting him right back in there. Agassi said afterwards, I just think he raised his game a lot. Connors said that wasn't true. Connors himself said, I didn't do anything special. He did it for me. And I think that's true.
Into the fifth set. And suddenly it's 5-2, and it looks like Agassi is just going to roll through this final set to victory. As usual, Jimmy Connors had other ideas. The crowd behind him, he raised his game again.
It's at a point like this when you're up against Connors, you can't take anything for granted.
Give this guy a chance to choke!
Give this guy a chance to choke.
Now there's Andre Agassi, up 5-3, but Connors serving here.
It's great that Agassi was able to tough this out. Because Connors was all over the place.
The 5-4. Now Agassi serving for the match. But again, Connors hanging in. The audience absolutely enthralled, but Agassi at match point, 40-30. The younger man who beat Connors in straight sets a year ago, going 5 in whatever fashion, has the old master at his mercy. Yet another of those drop shots from the baseline, long from Connors, and Andre Agassi advanced to the semifinal in a dramatic effort on the stadium court.
As Jimmy Connors waved to the crowd, little did we know he might be waving goodbye to the U.S. Open. He did not play in 1990. Agassi would be eliminated by Ivan Lendl, who would face Boris Becker in the final. We pick up the action in the first set tiebreaker. Ivan Lendl down a set really started to put the pressure on Becker. There were some wonderful points in the second set, but it was all Lendl.
Foul challenge.
Into the fourth set, Becker leading 2-1 and 4-3. Lendl with a break point. Despite Lendl's pressure, Boris Becker has himself a match point in the fourth set tiebreak.
7-6, 1-6, 6-3, 7-6.
'90 brought an end to the Cold War, but the Middle East became a hot spot. Iraq's Saddam Hussein brought the world to the brink of war. Iraqi troops overran Kuwait and then dug in along the Saudi Arabian border. As the Open got underway, America's attention was focused on the 120,000 American GIs hunkered down in the Saudi desert. At the Open, attention was focused on Jennifer Capriati, the phenomenal youngster who would cruise to a fourth-round meeting with defending champion Steffi Graf. Earlier losses by Martina Navratilova and Monica Seles seemed to clear the way for Steffi's third straight title. Now an old pro and a Grand Slam champion, Steffi was in no mood to give this 14-year-old her day in the sun. Capriati demonstrated power beyond her years. but she lacked the poise and consistency needed to upset the defending champion.
Game Graf.
Still, tennis's new darling wasn't quite yet done for the day. But with power and grace, the champion rolled to a straight set victory, 6-1 and 6-2, reaching the final with ease. Graf was heavily favored to win against Argentina's Gabriela Sabatini. In 21 previous meetings, Graf had won 18.
Sabatini taking extra time between points, trying to slow Graf down. Love, Sabatini.
Sabatini leads 3-love. Continuing to be the aggressor point after point.
40-love.
Boy, she's on a roll, isn't she?
Sabatini. Sabatini leads.
Her new coach,
4-love.
Carlos Kiermaier, in the black cap, took over right after the French Open this year.
Quiet, please.
Her brother Osvaldo. Oh God. It was Sabatini's time to shine.
Well, what a match she played.
The match of the tournament turned out to be a 5-setter between Yvonne Lendl and unheralded Pete Sampras of Rancho Palos Verdes, California. With top seed Stefan Edberg ousted in the first round, Yvonne Lendl's record 9th straight appearance in the final seemed certain. Though Lendl was expecting the blazing serves of Sampras, he didn't expect to be beaten from every spot on the court. As the match developed, Lendl's former student wound up giving his teacher a tennis clinic. Sampras rolled to a 2-set lead. But Lendl battled back to force a 5th set. Sampras, a 5-set win over a 3-time champion. He would next face unseeded John McEnroe, who surprised everyone by reaching the semifinal. In Super Saturday's first semifinal, the defending champion Boris Becker faced Andre Agassi, whose chartreuse and black outfits brought new meaning to the phrase, a colorful U.S. Open. Agassi served notice early that he was ready to play, and Boom Boom knew this match could get away. Becker raised his game and hung on to take the first set. Then the point of the match, perhaps the point of the tournament.
That'll be in the highlight film for sure. It should be. Now, if he tells you he was practicing this, don't believe him. Watch Agassi do a 360, one-handed backhand, and ends up winning the point.
Despite losing the first set in a tiebreak, Agassi cruised through the next 3 sets, repeatedly passing a frustrated and irritated defending champion.
Set match.
The most anticipated match of Super Saturday was Sampras-McEnroe. It attracted movie stars and tennis stars, Dustin Hoffman, Chris Evert and Andy Mill, celebrity tennis player Elke Sommer, professional tennis player Martina Navratilova. Even the New York mayor, David Dinkins, was at courtside to see if the California kid was ready for the streetwise New Yorker John McEnroe. He was. McEnroe, on what he considers his home court, battled gamely from 2 sets down and displayed some of the magic that had got him this far. But the young Californian continued to fire bullets. His 17th ace at match point. 6-2. The greatly anticipated final turned out to be all Pete Sampras. as the 19-year-old unleashed a barrage of weapons and dominated Agassi with a powerful all-around game. Arthur Ashe and all the other spectators watched in awe as Sampras systematically dismantled Agassi in just 1 hour, 42 minutes to become the youngest U.S. Open men's champion in history.
Game in second set, Sampras 6-3.
So from new champion Pete Sampras to past champion Chris Evert, there you have it, the best of the U.S. Open from 1980 to 1990. For Pat Summerall, Tony Trabert, Mary Carrillo, and John Newcomb, I'm Tim Ryan. Thanks for watching, and remember, be kind, rewind.